guys. That's what we're starting with. What's up, guys? This is a beautiful Saturday afternoon in the summer. Oh, look at that. That's a persimmon from last year. Is that going to focus? Doing really well. Just finished mowing the spring plot from the first time. It was taller than I thought. We had a rainy spring and definitely got more... pardon my English, definitely got higher than what I expected. But she looks good. I think I'm going on year 4 now. They say a clover plot will last like 3 years. I'm gonna spray this and do a clover boost on it. I'm not too worried about redoing it, starting from scratch, if you will. There's a toady. This one, maybe? I have to take that off and check. But yeah, there's nothing that's more fun than taking a couple hours out of the day, doing some string trimming, mowing, enjoying the good weather. This persimmon is not growing at all. Just had such bad luck with these things. You can see where I did some roundup around them there. Also no go over here. I don't know, location or what. Look at all that bird shit on the side of that. That's nice, huh? Oh, and that one looks nice. So, I don't know. I seem to have 2.5. I'd like to have 6 of these. I don't know if I just keep trying and planting. I do have... Is this one going or not? I can't remember. I can't tell if that's a weed. Let's take it up. Come along the journey with me. All right, that is green. That is not a huge plant though, or tree, is it? So, again, I don't know what my deal is with persimmons. So I'm gonna stop filming because this isn't good quality audio or video or any of the above content. He says as he continues to film and struggle. But man, I would love for like just 6 of these, right behind the tower blind. Still having trouble with my coons. Nothing rough today, and one of my bolts that I repaired here has already come loose. Thankfully, I found it resting on the deck. This is the second time that's happened. My oil cap popped off. Just a reminder for me to check that. It does not look like I sprayed a ton of oil, but when I get back, I'm gonna have to check that. Still cutting fine, but just kind of frustrating as it's starting to fall apart on me a little bit. I think a lot of that is the fact that I've got these foam filled. It just rattles it that much more. It doesn't have that soft air, but those soft air tires kept popping on me. So anyhow, enjoy your weekend. What's up, guys? I just want to show you what I'm hoping will be an improvement to my spray setup here. So if you've watched any of my videos, I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this all together, but you'll know that I had this Fimco 65 gallon on the back of my Can-Am for a while. I use it to spray about 20 acres worth of fruit trees. I use it with the boom attachment to kill grass with Roundup or to whatever, right? And I go through, I think I've had 3 or 4 of these. I've rebuilt the diaphragms. All I'm ever using is this fruit tree implant guard, some bonite copper, and Roundup. Oh, and some max arrest. Never put anything else through it, and eventually I get about 2 or 3 sprays in, half a season, and the pump just won't build pressure. So I bit the bullet, and I bought this high flow. Yes, it's upside down. Yes, that's the way that it mounts. It has less PSI, but it's a Pro Series, and all I'm hoping, this is 45 PSI versus a 60 PSI pump. I'm just hoping that it holds up better being a Pro Series. There's not really much else out there as far as competition, and I just don't want to spend $120 every year to buy a new pump, because even after rebuilding, they don't seem to work. So I didn't do the normal research ahead of time before I bought it. It comes with a kit that at first you're like, what is all this stuff? It's pretty self-explanatory, so I'll run you through it, assuming I did it right. So this came off the original pump. Let me see here. This would be a bracket that hangs off the manifold that mounts right there to the top left. And what it does is it holds on here. Now, obviously, I think you can see here, this won't fit this. So it comes with this skinnier metal bracket, again, used to sort of stabilize the manifold there. I'm not sure if that's as stable as I'd love it to be. I might have to tighten that up, but I just don't want to strip anything. There is a long bolt and then 3 identical shorter bolts. As you can see here, this longer bolt has to go through quite a more bracket than this flat piece, so I didn't want to over tighten that. Anyhow, the other 3 line up well. It does have to go upside down. It comes with 2 of these. I'm not sure why 2, if they're just being generous. That part threads into the top, literally threads. So if you're familiar with the other brackets here, they have these like quick connects on the manifold. And in fact, it does come with 2. That's nice. There's a pin. So the bottom piece and the top piece connect right up. And it also comes with this adapter, which literally spins on nice and easy, which I'll hook the hose up to before we go to testing. This, if I can show you here, this threads on one side and then just kind of like slides into the top of the manifold. And then you can see it comes with this clip, little retaining pin. Don't want to lose shit. So they gave you 2. I also got 2 rubber grommets of sorts that probably should go somewhere, but it wasn't super intuitive to me. Maybe it goes with another part. Maybe I'll go home and Google it and let you know and undo the work that I did here if it's important to go somewhere. But again, these are all rubber in the back here. This all fits nice and snug. I'm not too worried about that. So the other thing I got was a Pro Series handle. There's 2 versions of these, right? So careful if you're going to order this. One comes with the hose barb there. The other one doesn't. This is a lot nicer, and I think will hold up well versus the stock one. The stock one, you can see some duct tape there. I accidentally dropped it and drug it behind. I don't know if drug it behind is proper English, but I drug it behind the tractor, had a small pinhole leak. It was working, but I figured why not also upgrade this, a little bit nicer of a handle. Not that there's anything wrong with this one, but hoping maybe just a little better spray. Occasionally this nozzle up here doesn't cooperate. So I can't test it tonight. We got some construction going on here at the house. But I'm going to hook all these things up, and then when I get it going, I'll put it together, show you what that looks like. All right, guys, quick video. Just got done spraying. Wanted to make a video ahead of time, but I wanted to see how it went first. And you can see I'm filling it up with water after spraying the orchard. Short answer is no problems. It holds at 40. I've seen it go to about 50, but 40 psi as advertised. I will say it's the same gallons per minute, but velocity is not as great, so my distance wasn't as good, but I didn't have any issues with the sprayer. I think, if I'm honest, I maybe like the other one better, just as far as like, I don't know, that spray doesn't feel as good. What else? You'll notice this is the OG gun on here. I found with this one here, I'm going to see if I can find a different nozzle because it's threaded on there. So it should be a different thread without an issue, but it only shoots straight. It's not adjustable, so I can get a wand, and I don't want a gun. So there was some shit in there, but yeah, you can see it just shoots a missile. You probably can't return it. I'm not sure if I have a use for it. It's not a terrible amount of money, but that's that. So overall, I guess TBD, right? Mostly because I've hooked a pump up and had 2.5, 3 successful sprays with no issue before it goes bad. So I don't know. I mean, the true test for this one is going to be the longevity. I also did go back and I looked at the instructions. There was those 2 grommets. I said, I don't know what those are for. It says that they are for the inlet and bypass valves, which won't be used with this pump. I don't know what the heck they're talking about. Other sprayers, maybe that's the case, but I don't see how your inlet and bypass valve in any application wouldn't be needed to be used. I suppose you can use them to block off, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. You have a perfectly good quarter turn valve there to shut that off. So a little bummed about the nozzle or the spray gun, nozzle combo. Not the end of the world, just potentially wasted money there. I'll see, contact Fimco, what else. But again, everything fired up, it worked, nothing rattled, nothing came loose. It fit all nice there as described. Didn't have any clogging issues. So normally I fill this up about halfway, drain it. I'm supposed to put some dish soap in it or some sprayer cleaner. That could also be part of my issue, but good rinse with water, about 30 gallons or so. Through all the system, flush it, keep it dry. I'm actually probably part of the reason I'm not cleaning it right now, but I'll clean it next time, is I'm gonna do some herbicide for my clover plot, which I'll make a little video on. I'm not sure if I'll tack it onto this one or not, but I may. So that's the quick update there, which I'll tack on to the other videos. We're not supposed to get rain till tomorrow, maybe afternoon, so that buys me a little bit of time. But if you're in the Northeast, what is today? Today's the 25th. You know, we're in the middle of a tremendous heat wave. Today is actually nice, a little breezy, but not very, which is great for spraying. 95 the last couple days, so down in the 80s today, according to the watch. So anyhow, guys, hope this helps if you're struggling like I am with this POS Fimco sprayer. All right, boys and girls, it is June 29th, and I've got 3 products that all say they can be mixed together, and F it, we're just gonna go with it. So I'm gonna put the Rest Max says anywhere from 10 to 20. Surefire says 15 to 20. Clover Fuel wants 10 gallons. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put 15. Real non-scientific approach to it. I got the boom on. I'm gonna test that before I add the chemicals, just to make sure, because that's been sitting for a long time, since last August. And we're gonna mix all those up, and then I'll show you where we're at. I would have probably liked to do this about a week earlier. I'd like to give the grass a little time, the plot a little time to recover after mowing, but not too much time, and it's grown up quite a bit. So yeah. All right, so this is the beautiful clover plot. I think this is the 3rd or 4th spring. We're in the summertime now. I should know the answer to that. Not much has changed. If you ever walked back and watched all these in a row, we've added a couple oak trees, shooting tower there in the middle. We've planted some persimmons that are doing okay. We have some chestnuts. 2 out of the 4 that I planted over here are okay. Give you an idea. This is almost knee-high in places. I'd rather it be about halfway up my shin. But I'm getting, maybe I'll use it as the cover. I'm getting nice bachelor groups, 8 to 10 sometimes at a time. Bunch of does, a few fawns. This is a scrape. You can see how it's been hit still continually. Obviously in the fall that'll pick up. And yeah, since the beginning, off in the distance there, we planted some pear trees. We have a watering hole over here, which is literally just a mosquito pond. But a kid's extra pool that we had took an hour. Like I said, I saw this from a distance, so it's the reason I'm walking over here instead of getting going. And we got a chestnut tree grow tube that has bent over. So I'm gonna fix that and I'm gonna get to spraying. Again, as I just showed you, we've got the max arrest. Get rid of some of these broadleaf, but keep the clover and the chicory okay. We've got the Surefoil crop oil, which is supposed to help it stick. It's not gonna rain till maybe later tomorrow, so we got that nice 24 hours. And for the first time, that Clover Boost fertilizer, I don't know if that's gonna fertilize the weeds. Help it all. I don't think it was too bad. I want to say 20, 30 bucks on Amazon, so screw it. Yeah. Okay, we got it on recirc. Normally I like to go about 3/4, fill it up, recirc it, and add the rest of the water. But just for whatever reason, I get back here. Everything is working. It's not often I can say that. I remembered everything this time. Actually was looking around for the little hose clamp that connects to the boom, because that's popped off before because I forgot it, and the hose under pressure will pop off. And sometimes you forget like the things that you do to make sense. You know, loose parts. Actually slid it up. It's over here, so I gotta remember that next time I use this boom, which will probably be another month or two, or not a month or two, a month and a half, early August. I like to start spraying Roundup, glyphosate, give myself some cancer. I probably should be wearing gloves for this stuff, but no mask, no Tyvek. It's fertilizer with a little bit of herbicide, but it's not Roundup. And if I can buy it in New York, that gives me some confidence that it's not horrible and I'm not spraying it in the air, I'm spraying it on the ground. So again, you want everything to be mixed though, especially when you got that 8 ounces max arrest and the clover all churning in there. So I got that on recirc right now. It's pumping out the bottom, switching it on the top, and we're gonna rock and roll. Wish me luck. All right, just about done. Give you an idea of my strategy. I go about 5 to 7 miles an hour. I usually start out a little quicker, just out of fear that I'm gonna run out. So I want to make sure every little spot gets at least a little bit, and then I go back around and I do overlapping passes. It's a 7-foot boom. But overlapping, if I'm saying that right, and if I'm not describing it right, I see my previous tire tracks. I don't go over them. I go shift over just a little bit in between the next row over, like you're mowing the lawn, right? I want to show something that I think is interesting, just from a perspective of like managed versus unmanaged. So this little section over here, which is like, look at the butterfly. Everything's great, right? This, I mowed and had mowed for a while. I stopped mowing it because it's just hard to get in and around. It's like, what the hell's the point for this one little section? But I'd mowed it for a couple years. This area we talked about in previous videos. This is just cut to give us a little bit more of a shooting lane. So a little bit more work to do there before the season starts. And you can see this north part of the plot. And from previous videos, you know that it's just never never done well with the clover. I mean, it's there, right? If we hunt around a little bit, right, we see it, and it's alive, and for whatever reason, and some of it might be the sun. I mean, look at all the dead ash. So the pears here are doing really well. They're getting full sun. I've got my solar panel on the cam over there. I'll never need batteries for that. Those are a nice $50 investment, especially with the price of batteries now. But what I thought was kind of neat is this area is generally always going to be shaded. If you don't know much about clover and chicory, and you can see where the stuff has gone down and where it's been applied, sprinkling on top of that clover, is this shaded area here, right underneath this old, I think it's like I can't remember the name of the pear, but it's one of those like sort of wild pears that gives little tiny pears, and it doesn't fruit out every year. So the last 2 years has been loaded. This year absolutely nothing. It's the one spot that I've gotten some of the pictures of the biggest bucks I've ever seen on this property, but it's always done by the time the season starts. Anyhow, tire tracks have gone through here, but you can see, hopefully, right, mix up a little bit weeds, but just, I mean, that's a freaking buffet of clover and chicory. Not a ton of weeds, not a ton of grasses, right? It's not magazine quality, and of course now the tracks, the weight of the tires have pushed it down, but we don't have to go too far into our clover plot before we see just drastically different structure, right? So it's also low-lying a little bit in terms of how this, I think you can tell, slopes up, versus this shaded a little low-lying. Maybe it has something to do with the tree sucking in moisture, but I think that's bullshit. I think it's the shade. Anyhow, yeah, I have just maybe a gallon or so left here. I've made about 2.5 passes. Spent time to make sure I got the extra. You can't even see. It's so low that you cannot even see how much is left there. So I'm gonna pull my way up to the barn. Gonna rinse this bad boy out. I'll be done with this Fimco for a while. One other little thing here that I do like. This was out of all the things I hate about this Fimco. This switched cigarette adapter here. I can't remember what I paid for it, but it's clutch to be able to turn this off and on instantly when you want the pump to turn off because he stopped, you got to reverse or whatever. And then also you don't have to deal with a battery hooked up running around there when one's going to go out, just pulling off your main power. So I will probably talk to you guys in a little bit. Have a good summer. Happy 4th of July.